Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our studio in the office. I'm Emil Nijssen, and today I'm joined by nobody other than Alex himself.
Hey guys, it's Alex here from Homey. I'm just so used to saying that when I'm here in the studio.
Yeah, that sounded really familiar. All right, this evening we have a very, very nice announcement to make. It's a new feature, it's called Advanced Flow, and it is for Homey Pro. Just to be very clear about this, so last year we had a keynote where we announced Homey and Homey Bridge as our new product next to Homey Pro. Since then, we have been referring to all the devices that look like this as Homey Pro. So that's also the devices that have been sold as Homey before, but in 2016 to 2019. They can now be considered part of the Homey Pro family, and also the announcement of today is also for those devices. So that's the entire group of devices. That was the housekeeping thing I wanted to share. So before we dive into Advanced Flow and what it is and what it can do for you, I have to admit I'm a little bit nervous because this is our first time that we're actually launching a new feature as a paid feature. So it's a one-time purchase that you can optionally buy for your Homey Pro. We absolutely believe it's worth every penny. We've invested so much love into it. We can't do it without anymore, but I just wanted to say it before everyone gets their hopes up. So take that in mind.
Well, let's show it off first.
Let's show it off. All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Okay, here we go.
That video was really cool. I really want to dive into advanced flows now. But first, I have a question that's probably on a lot of people's minds. How much does it cost?
So Advanced Flow is a one-time purchase for Homey Pro of 25 euros. So that means that you purchase it once and then you can use it basically forever.
Okay, simple.
That's it.
Well, let's dive into it.
You want to dive in?
Yeah, I want to take a look.
Let's show it. Absolutely. All right. So we're in the Homey web app now because that's where Advanced Flow takes place.
Right, because you need the screen space actually on a Mac or a desktop.
Exactly. So we decided that to create and edit Advanced Flow, you need the Homey web app. And so on the Homey mobile app, you can't edit them, but you can still like move them around in folders. You can disable them, favorite them, etc. Okay. So like the file operations, but not really go into the flow itself.
No.
Because you just need a big screen really to make it happen. All right, so now when we tap Create a Flow, you get presented with this new choice where you have a standard flow and an advanced flow. And when you hover these buttons, you see this nice animation.
Attention to detail.
Absolutely, always. So we choose, of course, for advanced flow. And in the top left corner, you see this new button. It's called Add. And that's where all the new kind of cards and blocks live. And you can add them to your canvas. So let's start with a when card. You already probably know that. And let's say presents and the first person comes home.
Right.
So this is my card, and I can drag it around on the canvas. Really nice. It snaps to the grid to keep your flows neat. And I would just want to add now a then card, right? So right click there, add is sort of a shortcut, and then navigate to then. And now I want to send myself a push notification. So when the first person comes home, send a notification. Now you can see when I hover this card now, it gets this little thingy on the right side. And when I hover that, you see my cursor becomes a checkbox.
Yep.
And that means that the line that is going to exit this card, so I can actually drag that, and I can see this other card lighting up. It has this blue glow behind it. And then when I hover it, you can see I can drop it there. So when I drop this line, now these two cards are connected. And then when I drag this around, the line keeps following around. So now I can say, first person came home to myself. Okay. So that's basically how you connect two cards. And now let's go back to the when card. And then when you hover over the play button, or you hover over the card, the play button appears. And when you tap the play button, the testing of the flow starts. So you can see the line filling as if it was like water flowing through it, basically. And then you see this progress bar in the card, and it's blue, so that means it's finished. And when I hover that, you can actually see what happened there in the card and even how long it took. So it's really
I see like 0.5 seconds or half a second to send a notification to your phone.
Yeah.
And also you can see if tags have been generated, and we'll get into that later, I'm sure,
we'll
as we get more advanced with this. But it's quite cool that you have this information behind your flow cards.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now in the test bar here, I can exit the test as well. Let's just see that one more time. And then you can see how the progress bar feels. Really nice, really nice.
So secretly, I know that if you add a delay, it's also really cool. So should we add a delay to this?
All right, so right click again, add delay. And then I put it somewhere. I have to break this connection first. And then I drag from the when card to the delay, and then here again. So I just rearrange my cards so they look a little bit better. I can add delay, let's say 2 seconds. I can even switch to minutes, but don't want to keep you guys waiting.
No, let's keep it quick. 2 seconds, yeah.
All right, and let's try that again. So now you see this line, and then you see a little clock of 2 seconds, and then when that's finished, your next card starts executing. So it's a really visual way of basically seeing what your flow does.
So we got a when card, we have a delay, we have a then card, we're missing an and card.
Good one. All right, so before we get to the end card, let's add a start block first.
Okay.
So that's also new. You can create a start block on your canvas. So you can create one, because the start block is used by your favorite flows. So in the mobile app or in your widget on your home screen. Or Alexa or Google or your shortcuts, etc.
There's a lot of places.
All the places where you can start your favorite flows. This is where the start block basically comes in. So we can use that one, and then we can add a end card. And let's say we want to check if my tally is turned on. So I can just put it here, drag a line from the play button, and then go here. Now I can just test this already. Don't really need to create an entire flow to test it.
Right.
And you can see in this case that the TV is turned on. Now let's go add some other cards. So let's then card, and timeline notification with TV is on. And let's duplicate that. Really nifty feature. Oops, TV is off. And now you can see that this card has two endings, right? So you can drag this one here. And then when the card is not true, so it's a no, let's say the TV is turned off, then it flows through this card.
Oh, cool. So like basically you can have an and condition, and if that and card is not met, you can even continue the flow down a different path than if it was met. So
exactly. So that's already where the advanced starts showing.
Starting to get,
we're definitely not there, but it's really, really getting nice. So let's just test it. We hit the play button, enjoy this beautiful animation. And then you can see that this route is being taken. So you see that this route is grayed out.
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen anymore in your flow. and then a notification has been created.
Okay. Wait. Okay, do me a favor. Go back to your devices, turn off the TV, and then test it one more time.
Yeah, sure. So I just save this flow so
yeah,
I can come back. Let's call it demo flow. Let's go to my devices. Find
I
my
think it was
TV.
the
It's a
living
living room.
Yeah, TV.
Let's turn it off. Let's go back.
Demo
and
flow.
test it again. And now you can see that the orange route is being taken.
Yeah.
And even you can hover here. The outcome was false, which is in this case correct. And then you go here.
Okay.
Pretty nice, right?
Yeah. And now if you go to your notifications, you'll have one saying TV is on and one saying TV is off.
TV on, TV off.
Perfect. So
Really
cool.
nice.
And it works so quickly. You just
It works really quickly. So, all right. So that's how this works. Now, something that's also really nice, and we might go a little bit fast now, but I want to show how you can handle errors.
Okay.
So when something goes wrong, you can actually now create a route in your advanced flow that shows the route, that you take the route when the card goes wrong. So enough talking, let's just show it. Let's go to a then card, and we have under logic, we have a quite advanced one, make a HTTP request. You love HTTP requests,
oh yeah,
don't you?
they're my favorite.
Yeah. So what this basically does, it asks some server on the internet for some information.
I think a lot of people that have Homey Pro and are going to be using advanced flows, they probably know what an HTTP.
Yeah, I guess so. So we can just let's make HTTPS. So we can basically execute this, and this should work.
So you're making GET requests to Homey.app.
Yeah. So it basically downloads our website.
Oh, okay.
Not really useful, but what you can see is here there's an error part on the bottom. So let's add a then card that also makes a timeline notification with something went wrong. And now we want to actually know what went wrong. So this would already be nice, but it's even nicer. So I can drag a red line to here, which means that when this thing goes wrong, then this card is executed. And now if we open the tag picker here, we have a new tag. It's called the error tag. So basically the error message is inside of that tag. Now, so this card was working, but let's say we make it a domain name that probably doesn't exist.
Let's hope that
I hope this doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And now we execute this, and now the card errors, you saw it shaking.
I saw it.
And now this one executed as well. And when we go to the notification, you see something went wrong, request to blow up, not found, blah, blah. Now this is useful, but you can also hover the progress bar here, and then you can see the tags that this card has generated.
Oh, perfect.
So you can actually see the error message, so you don't have to log it to somewhere else to actually read it. And you can even go here and then hover the tag where you used it, and you can see the value it was at the time when you used it. Pretty neat, right?
There are, I think, specific cases where you want to be using errors, and I'm sure for a lot of people it's really interesting. I'm on the fence, but...
So let's say your smart lock failed to lock, for example.
Okay,
I would want to know that.
I can see that, yeah.
Or something else I did, for example, I use my Sonos as my doorbell sound, but my Sonos is a Sonos Roam, which has a battery, so sometimes it's turned off.
Oh.
So how I use this is when someone rings my doorbell, my Sonos makes a sound. Unless that errors, then I have another speaker in my home. It's very cheap, and it doesn't sound as nice, but it's a good backup. So you can actually, use this in a way that makes a lot of sense for your use case.
So you can handle issues in flows that previously went unhandled, pretty much.
Yeah, they went unhandled. You just had no idea that it happened. So that's really nice. Now, while we're at this card, so
your complicated HTTP GET request.
Yeah, exactly. Now you can see now that this is a then card.
Right.
And previously, only when cards had tags. So someone came home and then the name of the person.
Right, you generated that tag actually in the when card.
Yeah,
right.
But now then cards can also have tags.
Okay.
And when you hover this icon, you can see what this card returns. So this is only for advanced flows. So cards that do this are only available in advanced flows. And you can see here that there are two tags being generated. So a text tag with the value of the HTTP request.
Right.
Your favorite. And the status code. So now let's change this URL to, I happen to know this from the top of my head. So this is a API that returns a Chuck Norris joke.
Okay.
Love those. So this URL returns a random Chuck Norris joke, basically. So let's test that. I can hit the play button and then the card executes, and I look into the result of the card, what it generated, before I continue building my flow. So that's really useful. And now I can see that there's a lot of JSON in there. It's sort of a format that computers use to transfer data. And I know that the property value actually contains the joke. So I want to get this out of there.
Right.
So I can actually, send it to myself or something. Now we've added a few very geeky cards there. So we have then cards now on the logic. And next to all the variable cards that were already there, you can now also convert tags. So go from a text to a number, or a number to text, or Boolean, everything that's in there. But you can also parse this JSON and then parse something as JSON. You're following?
No, I'm just nodding along and agreeing with you. No, you know what I'm happy about is it's a feature called Advanced Flows, and you have advanced features in that. So
Absolutely.
It's all part of it. I think
I'm nerding out.
Yeah, obviously. For Emil, this is perfect. For me, I'd be, just kind of creating a cool looking flow. But continue.
But
Show me what you can do.
I understand that this is really, really advanced.
Yeah.
What I want to show is that these cards can now generate tags that you can then reuse in the preceding cards.
Basically, because you have this canvas where you're building these different flows, right? Even then cards can have logic tags that you can then use in later then cards, because they're all kind of flowing down this fountain. And
so you get a card, you convert it, you give it to the next card, etc. So
sort of that flow of water down.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So we can actually see that happening now. So this card returns what you just saw, with the whole object with the JSON in it. But then I can go here and then select response, which is the entire thing, and then I just want value out of that. So that's because it was in the object. Yep. Now let's try that.
Yeah, the value was the joke.
Exactly.
Which is the part you want.
That's the only thing I was interested in, not when it was created or something. So I've tested it again. You can now see this is what we already saw. And now the input is this JSON object, which was the same. And the output now is a text type tag with the joke in it.
It's so cool that you can preview this as you're making it.
Oh, it's so useful.
You just hover and you're like, okay, this is what, and then
I know.
Okay.
I know, it's super useful. And then now, of course, let's just finish it for the sake of finishing stuff. I can send myself a push notification with the joke in it. And now you notice this, when I hover this tag, you can see here, you see this wobble, like, hey, this tag is from this card. So you can actually know where it's from.
Oh, the wobble, okay, you can't see me pointing on the screen, but yeah, there's the wobble on the logic where it's coming from.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's a nice little detail, right?
Oh, so no matter how advanced your flow gets, you can pick variables from that flow and still figure out what card is produced. Okay, well, this is
that's really nice.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the Chuck Norris, and now we've learned basically that you can that cards can generate tags and you can reuse them. You want to go even a little bit deeper?
Do I? Absolutely. It is advanced flows, isn't it?
All right, let's go. So there are the all and the any blocks.
Right, and they're new and only available for advanced flows.
Exactly. So all is a block that you can place, and it requires that all the previous lines have finished before it continues.
Okay.
So I'll just give you an example. Let's get this play button. I just want to break this now.
Sure.
Oh, by the way, so I've broken this connection. You can also just hit right-click, test from here. Okay. So you don't need a play button. You can do this from anywhere in your flow. And if we require some tag, then we also ask for it. So you can see that here. So you can really easily debug your flow.
Right. So if you
don't have to execute everything.
Yeah. If you have like a delay of 30 seconds or so, and you don't want to run through that delay every single time you're testing, you can test from a point after.
You can just skip it. Yeah, that's brilliant. All right. So we have this play button, and let's add a delay of 1 second and a delay of 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And now when I connect these, and I connect these again, like this.
Maybe make it 5 seconds just to. Yeah. Okay. Will this work?
Oh, I want to add it 3 seconds actually.
Okay. Yeah.
But that was my step 2.
I think it's easier. To
All right. So you can see now when I test this, the delays start working.
Yeah.
And you saw them. This was 1 second, 2 seconds, and then when this was all finished, then the card is done. Let's do that again. It went really fast. You were right after all. So 1 second. You see here 1 of 2.
Right,
so
1 of 2, and then 2 of 2, and then it's complete. Okay.
And now you can even add tree of 3, basically, and you can add a lot of them.
Okay.
So
Do me a favor and link it up to the push notification.
yeah, sure. Let's just finish this first. So you can see now when 3 of 3, and then let's just duplicate it. It's
so
fun
smooth.
dragging. Yeah, I love it. You can also see now the tag as broken.
Okay.
Because there's no path to this tag anymore. So you can see another tag is unavailable. But now we can say all done. And when we start this again, you see here this 0 out of 3.
1 second.
First is done, second is done, third is done, and then we continue. So this helps for the programmers out there. This is basically parallel programming, and you await all the stuff before you continue.
I think it's nice. I mean, I would use it as sort of like basically all conditions or all activities in a flow have finished, and then they would all then conjoin to one final card or a card coming after that. It doesn't even have to be the final one because you can have that then trigger other stuff again.
Yep. just want to show this because I love this kind of UI thingies. You can drag this, and when you drag it, you can actually see where the line will end up. So if I drop it here, then it comes on below. But now let's do that again.
Everything for aesthetics, eh?
Well, functional and aesthetics. We love to hit that sweet mark.
Yeah.
So that's how the all card works. And then we also, or the all block, I have to say. Yeah. And then there's the any one.
Sorry, is there a limit to how many cards you can attach to an all card?
Oh, good one. There is a limit, but you probably won't hit it.
Okay.
Okay. And of course, you can also put them behind each other if you really want to.
Oh, you can have an all card going to an all card going to an all card.
Yeah. Why not?
It is advanced flow.
It is advanced flow. It's up to you. And then there's the any card. So let's just put that here to show you how that works. And the any card waits for at least one line, and then it continues. So when I hit play here, you see it waiting, and then the first one is done, and that means that it's being executed. And then what you can also see here is that the second and the third line, they have bounced back.
Okay.
Because we've created this as such that every card in your flow can only have one input, or it basically can execute only once. If we didn't do that, then you can create very easily infinite loops, and your Homey would crash, etc.
Right, you have limited processing power, so
exactly,
you don't want
exactly. And we basically figured out a lot of stuff, like what are people going to make with it, and we couldn't come up with anything that you actually needed this.
Yeah, well,
so
you haven't met our users, but I'm sure there's someone that'll place a feature request.
Probably. But that's a nice bridge to the next one, which is Homey script.
Okay.
So let's show Homey script in Advanced Flow. We've updated Homey script to have some new features. You can now build inline scripts in your Advanced Flow, so you don't have to leave Advanced Flow. And the scripts are also saved inside of that flow, so no separate script necessary. Homey script is probably also one of your favorites. Let's go to Homey script here, and now you can see all this. These new cards with a code argument, which means that it's an inline code viewer. So let's say return code with argument, or run code with argument. And now when I tap this, I get this Homey script editor inline, and I can even test it here. So this is an argument that you can provide to your script, and it's filled with my arg, but of course you can put a tag in there. Okay. It's probably what's going to be more useful for people. So let's put the time in there, and then you can see the time here, and then you can actually write your Homey script inside of this flow to run it. And you can also, let's replace this card. And then you can also return a tag. So you can hover here, and then you can see run some code with an argument and return a yes and no tag, or return a number tag, or return a text tag.
Okay.
So you can actually...
So you can actually add these cards, you can type your Homey script in them locally, and then you can kind of analyze, okay, what's being returned here? Is that the argument I want?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So let's see it again. So start, go to Homey script, and then run this code. So let's say my arg is, let's replace that with this tag here, and then let's say we want to put in the power of my Homey Pro.
Okay. So the power consumption of Homey Pro.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Homey actually matches that. I don't know if you knew it, but it knows its own power consumption. So we log here the argument, and we return hello world. But what you can actually do now is, for example, we can return the argument, or let's say power is, and then write this. So when we run this, you see return power is 6, right? So we basically picked a number, made a text out of that, and then we return that. And so when we test this as well, you can now see that when we hover here, that the result tag of Homey script is this. So you can basically write any script you want in there, generate something, fetch some stuff from the internet maybe, do some really complicated math, and then return that as a new tag for using your other flows. So I've seen some guys internally use this maybe to turn on and off a lot of their devices on a schedule or something. Really, the sky's the limit with Homey script.
So you can build your whole own smart schedule, then use those tags that you're generating in actually the rest of your advanced flow that you're creating, and then have this whole overview of advanced flows.
So that's really, really, really advanced.
Now, I saw one last thing under the add. So when you're adding something, I saw the notes.
Good one.
Because, I've already lost track. I mean, we've been here for a little while.
So you can drag and drop notes.
Yeah.
And when you double click them, you can type something. So let's say this card is quite complicated.
Yep.
Sorry. And then you have this note on your canvas.
Okay.
And when you have new lines, it just grows with how you type. And you can right click it, and you can even change the color. So let's make it a green one. So it's really, really useful to add some notes to your canvas.
To understand what's going on, and especially if you're sharing this, Homey with other users, or so they can dive into it and see what's going on in your flow and your advanced flow.
Or when you forgot, 3 months down the road,
which happens
and still happen. Why did I do this? And those are all the blocks that are available in Advanced Flow. Just one more noteworthy mention. There are now new cards under flow. This flow started with a text tag. This flow is started with a number tag, and this flow started with a yes/no tag and image tag. So you can now start another flow and pass through a tag as well. So you can basically create sub flows, or however you want to do it, and then you can start these flows as well with a tag. Make sense? Because on the other hand, of course, these are the when cards, and on the then cards there are flow and then start flow with a tag.
So we could actually talk about advanced flows for hours.
We can go on,
which is something we're actually planning to do.
Yeah.
So this time next week on Tuesday, the 5th of July, we're going to do a AMA live stream. We're going to go through advanced flows. We're going to dive a little bit more in detail, also with questions from you guys. It's going to be a little bit interactive. So if you have flow ideas, how do I do certain things, then we can, Emil's probably going to show you how to do that in an advanced flow kind of way, which is a really nice way also to get involved with advanced flows and figure out what's all possible.
Absolutely. So we did an Ask Me Anything, after the keynote for the new announcement of Homey and Homey Bridge. Really love doing that.
That was
really, it was a lot of fun, to get in touch with you guys. So make sure you have a few questions ready. We'll also be making a forum topic where you can already write your questions if you can make it, so we can prepare them as well. And then hope to get to them in the
so that we can think also about the advanced flow that we're going to create to tackle a certain issue.
Exactly.
Okay. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure to plan some time in your schedule, and we're definitely going to do that next week.
Absolutely. So for now, I'd say that was the stream. That was the announcement. We've shown Advanced Flow. It costs €25 as a one-time purchase for your Homey Pro. You can buy it right now on our website. You just visit Advanced Flow page, or you go directly to the web app. You tap New Advanced Flow, and then you will be presented with an option to purchase it. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining us, and we really, really hope that you enjoy this new feature. And personally, I'm really excited to see what our users are going to create with advanced flows, because in the past we've always been amazed with the stuff that Homey users come up with.
I'm sure there's going to be a user out there that's going to try and take all of the flows they have currently and move them all into one advanced flow.
Probably, yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be someone to try that. But obviously, you can also make multiple advanced flows. So you can have advanced flows that are relatively complex and then make a new one for maybe a different set of devices or a different zone in your house or something
However
like
you
that.
want to do it. Yeah.
I think it's an amazing feature, actually. Especially for Homey Pro. I mean, this is for those users, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So go check it out.
All right. That was it. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next week.